What kind of response have you seen from your group since the loss on Saturday?
They've been in the right frame of mind. They came out on yesterday, did a phenomenal job in the meetings, came out today and did a really good job of practice and attacking practice. So it's been really good from the mindset standpoint and the energy and the sense of urgency, too.
What's your focal point with your group, and where do you put them from a pass protection standpoint right now?
Number one, fundamentals. Number one is eye placement. Number two, hand placement. Making sure we're taking the proper angles when it comes to that. And then at the end of the day, just being able to finish. That's the number one deal. I think we've done a good job of identifying who we got. We just got to do a really good job of finishing. And just continue to work on the fundamentals. That's the main piece.
Coach, Dylan the other night after the game was pretty upfront, and he said he thought guys were lackadaisical last week. Just what does it say about him as a leader to say that immediately after the game, and how does he follow up on that?
I think Dylan does a really good job of just leading, you know what I'm saying, and he's always going to do a really good job of making sure that he's hard on himself. I think that's the number one deal. So anytime he speaks on things, I think he's looking at himself, number one, and making sure he's doing everything that he can do because he want to lead by his actions, you know what I'm saying? So I think, number one, he takes it upon himself to be the leader of our room. He takes it upon himself to be the leader of his team and continue to push and drive. So, from that standpoint, I think he's always looking at himself internally, always trying to figure out ways that he can continue to improve and continue to get better as well.
There's been some question about up-tempo or explosive plays, and even when they're maybe struggling to find that with their wide receivers, what's allowed Dylan Sampson to still be able to burst through and have those explosive plays?
I think the number one is just he's doing his job. You know what I'm saying? He's trusting his read. He's trusting the offensive line. And then when the big play is there to be made, he's allowing himself to be able to go do that. And I think you see that in terms of, like we talked before, him being comfortable in the offense, him being comfortable with the offensive line, and then seeing the plays as it's getting ready to develop and then giving himself a chance. Once he gets into the third level, it's on him from that standpoint. So he's done a phenomenal job.
That was the first time that Sampson kind of got the opportunity to try and turn a game around. Is there anything that you learned from him that you may have not known before being in that situation?
No, he showed every day, and he showed in that situation too. Like, he just continued to get stronger as the game goes along. And he did a phenomenal job in terms of jump-starting the offense there in the second half. So, that's him, in a nutshell in terms of what he wants to do. He wants to lead by example, and then he wants to be the spark plug that gets the offense started as well, and he did a phenomenal job with that.
Florida had been struggling to stop the run up until the UCF game, and they did a good job of stopping the run against a good UCF rushing attack. What have you maybe seen in the difference in the games prior up into that game and the challenges it will present for your room on Saturday?
I think the big deal is you look at them up front. I think they're doing a really good job playing up front and doing a really good job at the second level with the linebackers being connected together. I think you can tell, how hard they want to play. Like, they're doing a really good job of getting on and getting off blocks from that standpoint up front. And I think you see their linebackers are fitting downhill, and then they getting the secondary support as well with the safeties being able to fit the run up as well. So I think, you see them continue to get better as the season goes along from game one to where they are right now. So I think the number one deal is us collectively doing a really good job of understanding what our roles got to be in terms of how we're going to attack them in the run game and then do a really good job from that standpoint.
I know just going out and executing is a big part of it. What was different, those two drives there to begin the third quarter compared to the other drives in the first half and then in the fourth quarter?
To be honest with you, I think that, collectively we just did a really good job of settling in. You know what I'm saying? We got our adjustments that we needed to make at halftime, which was really good, and I think we just came out collectively and just everybody was settled, everybody was executing at a high level, and then that you saw it, you know what I'm saying, from an execution standpoint. As long as we all on the money, that's when the big plays are coming. And really, to be honest with you, the big plays come because of the execution, because we're just doing our routine plays. Now we're doing them at a really, really good clip, and then boom, there's the explosive play that happens.
Coach, how are Cam and Peyton coming along? As we haven't seen them having a lot of opportunities, and how do you push guys when maybe they aren't getting that opportunity that they want?
Yeah, they're doing a good job of continuing to come along and keep developing. And I think the number one deal is, you look at the game on Saturday, you only touch the ball maybe 4 times in that first half, and then the game is the way that it is in the second half, so it's hard to really get a chance to rotate guys in the way that you want to. But they've done a good job attacking it, in terms of coming in the meet room, coming in practice, always staying ready because you never know when your number is called, so they've done a really good job of being positive from that standpoint.
How rare or special is Dylan Sampson's ability to create yards after contact. I think at one point he was one of the highest in the country. Why is he so good in that area?
I think it's the want-to factor. I think it's all about him understanding. We talk about as a program being pad +2 and everything that we do, and he's living by that example. And he's doing a really good job in terms of, okay, if nothing is there, let me drive forward and let me get 2 yards. And then at the end of the play, we talk about finishing all the time because you're getting judged off how many yards that you're gaining off the contact, whether that's me having to run through a defender or me making a defender miss. And I think it's the want-to factor of it that, hey, I'm going to drain this for every single yard that I can get and put us in a critical situation offensively to where we're in a manageable down and distance. So I think that portion of it is just a want-to factor for him.
Drew, I'm sure as a coach you want your players to sit there and attack every day the same anyway, but you played this game too. When you have a loss, but then the next week you've got a big rival coming up or you got a big game, is that something that can help guys flip the switch a little quicker and move on and not play that Arkansas game twice?
Yeah, I think in the mindset, you kind of got to look at it as a situation in life too, that sometimes you're going to have off days. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about in our room every day that, we have off days, we don't have bad days. Bad days is, people that's got stage 4 cancer that's in there fighting for their life. We got an off day. Okay, so now you got an off day, what are you going to do the next day to make it better? The number one deal is let's do a phenomenal job of learning from that situation that we just went through. So now understanding, flush it, let's go on to the next page, and now let's get ready to go attack this next week. So I think we've done a really good job from that standpoint and mindset too.
How would you assess where Deshaun is at coming out of the Arkansas game? Had a couple of nice runs, but I believe he also had a mishap in pass pro as well. What's your message and what do you like about where he's at right now?
Man, I like where Deshaun is at right now because he does a phenomenal job in terms of, learning from his experiences. The one situation there in the pass pro, now he goes inside to try to cut a defender. You can't cut, guys that's not rushing hard. So the main teaching point is that just make sure we do a really good job of staying up. But I love where he's at right now in terms of his mentality. I think you see him each week continue to get better and better and better, and that's what you want to see happen. And his mindset hasn't changed whatsoever in terms of the way he prepares, the way he goes out here and attack practice, and he's done a really good job. Thank you. Awesome. Appreciate y'all.